This podcast is brought to you by Renewal by Andersen of Central Pennsylvania. Buy one window or door and get the second one at 40% off. No money down, payments, or interest for 1 year for qualified buyers. Check this deal out by visiting rbacentralpadeals.com. That's rbacentralpadeals.com, or by calling 717-836-1080. Deal ends April 30th. Greetings, listeners. Have something to say about the stories covered here on PennLive? Well, I'd love to hear about them for listening to listeners. An upcoming Today in PA segment where I'll read those thoughts to make sure your opinions on the news are heard. Be sure to email me at todayinpa@PennLive.com. That's todayinpa@PennLive.com with your name and where you're from, and I'll be sure to read it every other Friday starting May 12th. Looking forward to hearing from you. Lower Merion Township has placed restrictions on where guns can be sold. Meanwhile, the Susquehanna watershed's water levels are low. A mobile September 11th museum is coming to Cumberland County, and a very, very rare Corvette was featured in an auction. I'm Claudia Dimuro, and you're listening to Today in a PA. Last week, the Lower Merion Township Board of Commissioners unanimously voted to pass a motion based off a zoning code that would restrict where guns are sold in the area, reports why. From now on, firearms businesses can't operate as home occupations and can only exist within 4 parts of the township, all of which are commercial areas. They also can't be within 1,000 feet of a public school and must follow new safety regulations. Regulations that require that all businesses must have alarm systems, smash-resistant doors and windows, and surveillance cameras. This motion was born of a petition that residents started last year, which sought to close down a gun business that had opened up right by elementary and middle schools. One official also points out how this new ordinance would only impact prospective businesses and not anyone that's already a licensed firearms dealer in the township. The Susquehanna watershed's water levels are low, reports the Middle Susquehanna Riverkeeper via northcentralpa.com. State Fish and Boat Commission Water Conservation Officer Jacob Bennett told the publication how waterways are definitely below the level they should be for mid-April, resulting in warmer, shallower creeks that aren't that great for stocked fish. As to why this may be, experts point to the lack of precipitation over the past winter as the leading contributing factor. According to the National Weather Service, and as of the recording of this podcast, over the last month, the watershed has been between 51 to 75% below average in precipitation. A mobile September 11th museum is rolling into Lower Allen Township this week, states PennLive. If you're in the area, you can head over to Trinity High School either tomorrow or Wednesday to see this exhibit on wheels. The Tunnel to Tower Foundation's 9/11 Never Forget mobile exhibit, which will be open to the public from 4 to 7 p.m. The 83-foot tractor converts itself into an exhibit to not only educate people about what happened on that day, but to commemorate the lives that were lost. A rare jewel of a Corvette was at the Spring Carlisle Collector Car Auction at the Carlisle Expo Center last week, says PennLive. The 100th Chevrolet Corvette ever produced, this gorgeous car was assembled in 1953 and delivered to Cyrus Rowlett Smith, who definitely has a name that sounds like he could afford that kind of car, and who definitely could. He founded American Airlines. The Corvette has retained much of its original elements and got a nice new paint job in 2019. It's also received a number of awards for being so intact and rare. Now, I'm no Mr. Cyrus Rowlett Smith, but seeing a picture of this Corvette, a girl can dream, can't she? That wraps up today's episode. For even more news, visit PennLive.com. And please don't forget to rate this podcast and to share it with someone you think would like it too. Thanks ahead of time, and as always, thanks for listening. I'm Claudia Dimuro, and I'll be back again tomorrow for another round of Today in a PA. This podcast is brought to you by Renewal by Andersen of Central Pennsylvania. Buy one window or door and get the second one at 40% off. No money down, payments, or interest for 1 year for qualified buyers. Check this deal out by visiting RBACentralPADeals.com. That's RBACentralPADeals.com, or by calling 717-836-1080. Deal ends April 30th.